Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the kingdom. All who seek the kingdom, all things shall come to them. And today we are excited to bring you the Kings talking not only nutrition, but we are here to honor for Black History, Black Heritage Month, two amazing men who have both made phenomenal contributions to the Black community, but society in general. And we're going to talk about one gentleman first and get him to say a few words as eloquently as he can. And you've seen this man in TV, you've seen him in film. He's worked with anyone from Arnold Schwarzenegger to 50 Cent and everybody in between. Lorenz Tate for the ladies, y'all love Lorenz Tate. He's worked with him too. He's an actor, a director, a producer, a humanitarian, amongst other things. Most recently, if you're a Marvel fan, he starred in the Black Lightning series on Netflix and got overwhelming just notoriety for his role as, I believe it was, and Bill get me, excuse me, I want to say Percy O'Dell, because I did watch that series. I watched it twice. Ben's watched it. You've seen him in Car Wash, so many. Directed Hill Street Blues, Cagney and Lacey. The man's just phenomenal, but he also has a big heart for giving, as he has the Bill Duke Media Foundation, which mentors underserved youth in LA, Los Angeles, in the fields of media and financial literacy. So he's just doing tremendous things, and I can't say enough about him. Proud to call him a friend. He's also a mentor to me, as he is to many others. But Mr. Bill Duke, welcome and thank you, sir, for being here with us today.
Well, God bless you all, and thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it, sincerely. Thank you.
Well, Bill, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. Then I just want you to add in your own words anything you'd like to add, how people can support the foundation, and any other causes that you stand for. But where did it all start for you, Bill? What made you get into entertainment and acting?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it as brief as possible. I was a student at a place called Dutchess Community College in Poughkeepsie, New York. I was born in Poughkeepsie, New York, upstate New York. And there was a speech and drama class with Constance Kuhn, man, and she put me in a play called The Emperor Jones by Eugene O'Neill. And I felt something from that, but I felt that I hit something, but that wasn't very pragmatic. And my parents said, you're always write in your journal, become an English teacher, because the only person at that time was Sidney Poitier. He was the only really Black actor out there, was famous and did many things. And they were saying, you're being impractical. So I did. I went to, I got a scholarship to Boston University, a Martin Luther King scholarship, and I was there. But I had, I had it for the tuition, but not enough money for room and board. So I was going to come back to Poughkeepsie, and I was going to work and then go back to BU. And the president of the university of the Dutchess Community College knew I was going to do it, and he asked me to come to the college. He says, I'm hearing you're coming back to Poughkeepsie to work. And I said, yeah. He says, no, you're not. I said, Mr. Hall, let me go. He says, he goes into his vest pocket, pulls out an envelope. I said, what is this? He said, open it. It was enough money to cover my room and board for 3 years.
Wow.
And it was like, he didn't have to do that. He did it from his heart. He believed in me. And so anyway, I was at BU for a while, and I was taking my Chaucer class, fell asleep for the third time in my Chaucer class. And my roommate, Israel Hicks, said, always talking about this acting thing. You should go up to the drama department and audition. I said, I'll never get in. You know, there's the first black director on Broadway, heads it now at BU. I go up and audition. So his name was Lloyd Richards. Auditioned and I got in. And then the next semester, I'm glad there was no internet and no iPhones at that time, because the next semester I was dancing across a ballet floor in ballet tights. That's something I don't want anybody to ever see, because it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. And Lloyd became my mentor. I followed him to NYU School of the Arts, and he gave me my first job at the Negro Ensemble Company. And he had a film called Gold Watch. He made me his assistant. I came out to LA. I was going to go back. He said, no, stay here. I believe in you. I went back and I stayed here. And because of Lloyd, that's how I got started things.
Wow. I mean, what a journey. You know, no one ever knows the journey behind our actors in Hollywood, but I really appreciate you. Yes, somebody mute your phone, please. But no one understands the journey, Bill, and what a journey that is. And thank God for all the mentors you had that, number one, believed in you.
Yes,
and helped you manifest the path that brought us to where you are today. Mm-hmm. So now I know you're an alkaline vegan, and many people know what vegan is, and you're health conscious. And I know I shared what our community, a big part of our community is the Tower Garden, where you're growing your own fruits and vegetables. But tell us about your health journey. When did that start for you, that you knew that you had to turn to the vegan life?
Well, I was having issues with a number of things, everything from inflammation, and some arthritic pain and different things. And I was just, taking pharmaceuticals for it. To a friend of mine said, are you getting any better? I said, well, I feel a little better. And she said, many doctors go to medical school for many years, but they only have at the most a couple of months of training in nutrition. She said, that's like a mechanic going to mechanical school and not studying the oil, the water, or the brake fluid or anything. And that, that supplies the car. And I said, okay. So I started studying nutrition and what food does to the human body. And I had no idea. I mean, I ate because I liked how it tasted. Mm-hmm. I had no understanding of what it did to my body or didn't do to my body, because there was no nutrition in it. And once I started it, I stopped eating meat. And then over a period of time, because I love sushi and fish, I stopped eating fish. And then I tried to go raw vegetables. That was a rough one. Going raw is, I like cooked foods, so with raw foods. So the raw thing didn't work for me. So I then went vegetarian, and then discovered through studying Dr. Sebi that vegetarianism is good. It's better than eating meat. But these days, there are a lot of seeds that are not, how can I say, organic. They're genetically modified seeds. And that food, that goes into your body and has an impact. And so I then became a vegan. And then I met this young lady that worked with Dr. Sebi, and she has me now on a vegan alkaline diet. And it does make a difference. It cleans your system, because once you can clean your colon and clean all of the mucus and poisons and toxins and all the things, I mean, I don't think people understand, for example, the amount of toxins that are in our water. Mm-hmm. Forget about food. the amount of toxins in the water. And because a water says this or that, read the label, because a lot of purified waters are acidic and they have flavors in them and sometimes salt. So you have to be careful, and you gotta eat supplements that make the body more alkaline, because it's more difficult for disease to exist in an alkaline body than an acidic body. So yes, it takes time and study and it takes discipline, but it's not only the quantity of life, it's the quality of your life. And that's what I'm focusing on.
Amen. Amen. And just the fact that, again, thank God you had people in your life that knew better. And I want to talk to that friend who gave you the analogy, because that's a beautiful analogy about the car and a mechanic not knowing about oil. I mean, that is a beautiful analogy, and it's fitting in the world that we are living in, inspiring healthy living, which I feel that God is going to lead you into this community, and we're going to be able to continue to impact lives already that you're already doing. But I think we have an extra added value, especially when we talk about the young people that are being mentored. We need to teach them the power of nutrition as well.
Yes.
And I just want to end with this note, that you could tell us a little bit about the Bill Duke Media Foundation.
Okay, Duke Media Foundation is my passion. In some, I hate to say this, but in some communities in this nation, around the country,
That's cool. That's cool.
Please mute yourselves.
hello?
Yes, Bill, sorry about that.
In certain high schools in this nation, we're unfortunately graduating young people from high school with second grade reading skills. How do you survive in a global economy with a second grade reading skill? You don't, what's called prison. So we try to provide that gap for high school students. We teach them, if they're interested in this industry, two things. One, media literacy. We've gone from film and television into media. Everything from Netflix to Google to, you name it, right? It's a totally different world. If you're a filmmaker now, I just made a film a year and a half ago with Steven Soderbergh called High Flying Bird, and you can see it right now on Netflix. The entire film was filmed in 2 weeks, a feature film in New York City with 5 iPhone 7 Pluses.
Wow.
Look at the quality of the film and you cannot tell. When they did the dolly shots, they rolled them around in a wheelchair. Okay? So you don't have to wait to be discovered. You can discover, if you're young, you can discover yourself. You still need to study the craft of directing, the craft of writing, and the craft of producing, the craft of editing. Yes, you need to do those things. But in terms of the actual doing of it, I just had a young man who bought 2 iPhones 12 Pros, 2 lights, 2 sound systems for like $500 a piece, and he has his own studio. He didn't wait. And so he can make movies, commercials, whatever he wants to. The second thing we teach them is financial literacy. People teach us how to spend money, but not how to use it. What is the FDIC? What is the Federal Reserve? What is debt? What is credit? What is savings? What is compound interest? There are people who literally make, and I'm not exaggerating, you might know some of them, $200 and $300 million in their lifetime, and they go broke. How do you make $200 or $300 million and go broke? If no one teaches you how to use money, you just spend it or give it away to people that spend it. If you don't know any better, so we teach them how to use a dollar. Yes, buy some of the things you like that you never had, but at the same time, put things away. Understand the stock market, understand the difference between bonds and stocks, and other things to invest in other than just buying things. And so we teach them both. They're 12-week courses. We do it every season. It's unfortunate with the coronavirus. We've had to shut down our live sessions, but we still give some Zoom sessions. And if you go to dukemediafoundation.org, you can see our children and what we're doing. And if you want to donate, there's a donate button because a lot of it comes out of my pocket. But the thing is that we believe in it. It's my legacy and the legacy of people who care and want to give back. And so that's what we do.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned High Flying Bird on Netflix. Any upcoming projects that we should look out for?
Yes, I'm going to be in a film coming out, I think probably April or May, with Matt Damon and Don Cheadle called No Sudden Move, written and directed by the great Steven Soderbergh. I'm in an episode of Tyler Perry's The Oval. And also another episode of Black Lightning.
Ooh, all right. All
Yeah,
right.
Thank you.
I'd love to hear that.
Thank you.
I'd love to hear that. I would ask you, if you recovered from that bullet wound, but I just want to be surprised. So I appreciate that.
We're going to surprise you. We're going to surprise you, okay?
Yes.
I have two films I'm developing for directing. So I'm glad at my age to still be working with people I respect and respect me. So it's been a blessing from God. People say at a certain age, how wise you become. And I do not believe in wisdom in that way. I think wisdom is the process of continuing to learn. The minute you say you know everything, it makes you a fool. Because not only have we not discovered all the planets, we haven't discovered all the galaxies. I mean, and talking about that we're the existence of creation, if you're talking about millions and millions and millions of galaxies and planets, there's got to be some other kind of life form someplace just from a mathematical point of view. And to think we're the center of everything that's the ego. Ego stands for edging God out. And so rather than being humble servants of the universe, we become egocentric and edge God out with no understanding of how significant and insignificant we really are.
Wow. I mean, Bill Duke, just extraordinary humanitarian, pouring into others, still creating that legacy that's already fully intact, but adding on to it every day, still active, still out there working, creative. And I would venture to say that if the healthy living did not become a part of your life, you wouldn't be as creative, not as productive. I feel confident in saying that. So I look forward to our journey together. And I'm going to just put it out there right now. I'm going to claim it because God says, if you don't put it out there, if you keep it indoors, it'll never get outdoors. So many people don't know, some people do know that I'm an aspiring producer. I have my first project and Bill's been a mentor to me. And I just know that this year that this project is going to be seen. So at some point I will be taking a hiatus, putting 90% of my time into getting that project out. And this man right here is a big inspiration behind me having the courage to get out there and go ahead and do that. But Bill, I can't say enough about you, man. We're going to talk a little bit later because I got to get at you with that Laker comment. But I appreciate
Go LeBron. I'm sorry.
Okay, man, it's your stage, brother. I'm not even
Don't
gonna
hate,
catch you.
don't hate, appreciate.
No, 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 no. Never hate, never hate. Always gonna appreciate. But God bless you, man. Love you. If you want to stick around, Bill, feel free. And we're gonna go ahead and with the kingdom. Like I said, this kingdom is all about kings, the men, setting the tone in the community with healthy living. And we like to bring other men because we know the women are essential to what we do. But it also starts with the men taking responsibility, putting less alcohol and less of the junk, the fast food, the red meats, all that stuff that, as you said, Bill, you ate it because it tastes good. It's not always good for you. So we're trying to change the mindset, starting with the kings in our communities across, literally, we're in 26 countries with this movement, with this mission. And this is how we're going to impact, and we're going to change the disparity in health in the Black community. So
very
again, I appreciate you, so we could take time and honor you. And at the end, everyone will be unmuted and they could say thank you. They love you and all that good stuff that you know comes with what you've done. We appreciate you. And we're going to keep it moving.
I'm gonna stay a little while longer, okay?
Yes, sir. Please. Thank you so much for that. And we're going to get right into it, folks. And first of all, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Troy Richardson. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. Every day is Veterans Day. Look for the campaign out there. Every day is Veterans Day on change.org as we combat the military and veteran suicide rate, which 18 to 22 are taking their lives every day. Totally unacceptable. So participate in that petition. And I want to get on and introduce this next young man. Name is Sam Penseal. Sam, I hope you can unmute yourself now. But Sam has a testimony of health that you need to hear. You need to hear this testimony because it will move you. It will definitely move you as it moved me. And then Sam is going to introduce, hopefully, our next honoree, NBA Hall of Famer Dave Bing. Hopefully he's able to get on. We were experiencing technical difficulties, but Sam, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Welcome to the call, Sam Penseal.
Thank you, Troy. And thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And we apologize for the technical problems we've had, and we appreciate your patience. I just want to begin with a little short introduction of my background. I went to college on a basketball scholarship, and I became, after that, a superintendent in public school systems and a principal. And that's important because of the fact that my training as an educator and as an administrator prepared me for identifying problems and then solving them. And so when I stopped playing basketball in my 30s, I began playing tennis, and I discovered that I did not have the same kind of energy that I'd had before. I gained about 25 or 30 pounds, and so I had a problem. I needed to lose weight, and I needed to find out how to increase my energy. And so I set about doing that. And what I discovered through my study is that the most important thing for losing weight and increasing energy without going on a diet, the most important thing that one needs is self-discipline and patience. And so what happened as I went along in October of, in October of 2018, my friend Darlene introduced me to the plant-based nutritional supplements made by Juice Plus. And that was at a time when I was beginning to train for a 350-mile bike ride from Cleveland to Cincinnati, which I did in 2019. When I started using the products, I immediately became a partner, but I did not try to sell the product to anyone else until at least 2020, when I have had, after which I'd had time to see the effects on my particular body after using this product. And what I noticed during that time was, the first thing I noticed was that my energy increased. I ate half as much as I used to, and I have twice as much energy. Like right now, I ride between 60 and 100 miles a week on my bike, depending on the weather. And what made the difference for me is that I discovered from my study, particularly from the work done by the Juice Plus people, all of whose claims have been scientifically substantiated. And one of the other things that was had a magnificent impact on me was the fact that Dr. Zafarian, excuse me, of the Tufts University says that only 12% of the population is healthy on a molecular level. And he said that this can be reversed with the use of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis in a period of 3 to 4 months. And based on my experience, I found this to be right and to be correct, because one of the things I discovered is that the body can heal itself when it is working properly and when it's working efficiently, just as a car runs much better when everything is in order. The same thing happens with the body, and the body, as I said, can heal itself. And the most recent thing that has given me some encouragement, and about which I'm very pleased, is that I visited my ophthalmologist a couple of weeks ago. And as I went from station to station, each of the techies mentioned how impressed they were with the quality of my eyes. And when my doctor looked at me, she was, excuse me, she was almost giddy in her response to what she was seeing. And she said to me,
Ask him like, can hear you now.
she said to me that,
Can you hear me, Sam?
yes, we can hear you, Dave. She said to me that what I needed to do, I did not need to come back to see her for another year, whereas in the past, I needed to go see her every 6 months. And so this, when I told her that I had been using the Omega blend that's made by Juice Plus, she was very pleased, and she encouraged me to continue to do that. The Omega blend comes from the plants as opposed to coming from the fish, and it includes the 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 omegas. So I can testify to the fact that since last April, when I began using this blend, my eyesight has improved. I have myopia, which is nearsightedness, and astigmatism, which is like looking through the window when it is steamed up. But as I said, I can see better without my glasses now than I used to. So I am encouraged to continue to use these products, and particularly to continue to use this Omega blend. So that's my story in a nutshell. And so at this time, I want to take the time to introduce my good friend, Dave Bing. Let me begin by saying that one of the things that one learns as an athlete, is that even though we are all created equal, some of us are created more equal than others, because some of us have some special gifts, some special talents. And what matters is what one does with those special gifts and talents off the playing field. And I am, when I met Dave and we became teammates 59 years ago, I could tell that he was one of those special people. But since that time, I have seen that what he has done with his life and with his talents, it epitomizes what can happen when one is concerned about more than just himself and one is interested in doing something for others. For those of you who don't know much about Dave, let me just tell you briefly a little about who he is. He's been a pioneer in athletics, beginning with his leading the turnaround in the revival of the Syracuse University basketball program, which had the record for the most consecutive losses the two previous years before we arrived. After leaving college and going into the pros, Dave was noted as one of the top 50 players in the first 50 years of the NBA life. In addition to that, he was instrumental in starting the Retired NBA Players Association, which was set up to help other players who had fallen on hard times and who needed help. In addition to that, he started 5 businesses in Detroit, all of which were related to the automobile industry. But what's significant about that is that in each of those businesses, he made sure to train people to fill a need that was missing and that was required. And then when things got to be real bad in the city of Detroit, he decided to help out by becoming mayor and solving some of the humongous problems that the city faced. And fortunately, at this point, he is finally beginning to get the recognition for the quality of the work that he did as mayor. And the last thing that I want to mention, which kind of dovetails with what Bill was talking about, Dave has set up a program to mentor young boys of color. And a part of that mentoring involves nutrition advice, as well as financial education that these youngsters need to be successful in life. And so with that, I want to say that it is my pleasure to introduce my good friend of 59 years, which is kind of mind-blowing to me to say that so easily, but that just to show you that when you connect with good people, relationships last. So Dave, although we won't be handing you a trophy or a certificate, this is our attempt to send you the digital roses that you can smell while you are still alive. So with that, thank you for joining us.
Okay, I know we did hear him at first.
Dave, if you can unmute, your mic is muted. Should be on the lower left part of the screen. There should be a line. There you go.
We got it.
I don't know how I muted.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sam, as you talked about 59 years ago when we all met up at Syracuse, it is hard for us to reflect on who we were then and, you know, where we are in our lives now. And probably one of the most important things for all of us is that we remain close friends today and very respectful of each other and the lives that we're leading. You know, when I reflect back on some of the things that I've been involved in, and you named a few of them, you know, you take things for granted in life. And the older you get, the more you reflect back and try to figure out what can I do next. And that's been a real challenge for me. because God has blessed me with good health. He blessed me in the careers that I had. And when it's all said and done, I think I left something here on a positive note. But you can't be satisfied with that because as I heard Mr. Duke say, you know, when you stop living, you stop learning, you know, you fail. And I don't think any of us want any kind of legacy that talks about failure. When we were young, we didn't think about Syracuse, for example, as the failures that was before us. All we thought about was taking those failures and making them positives. And I think we did that in the 4 years that we were at Syracuse. You know, one of the greatest things that I felt that I got involved in was the Retired Players Association. Because when you look back, when the league started in 1946, there were really no Black players. And I had the good fortune in my career in Detroit to be around the first Black player that played in the NBA, which was Earl Lloyd. Now, Earl, you know, there were 3 Black players when he broke the color line. But here's a guy that was so humble and never thought that, you know, he was part of history. He sit us down, Black players in particular, and talk about what it was like when he first broke in. And also talked about what our responsibilities were going to be as we move forward. And so when we wanted Oscar Robertson, who has always been a mentor to me and a good friend, Archie Clark, who came to the league the same year I did, and is a native son of the Detroit area. The 3 of us got together and talked about the plight of those players that came before us. And everybody thought it was going to be just a Black thing. But I had the good fortune, I think, of playing with 2 white guys that were blue collar kind of guys. Dave DeBusschere was the coach when I first got into Detroit, a really good guy. And then Dave Cowens in the last year that I played. So we said, this is not just about Black players, this is about all of us. And so we wanted the 2 white guys to understand the plight and the challenge that was before us. And that was trying to, once again, help guys who had come on hard times. And it took us a long time to convince the league that they had a responsibility for helping some of these guys who were in bad health, guys who didn't make a lot of money, guys who did not plan for a second career after basketball and needed help. And it took us 7 or 8 years to convince the league that they had a responsibility. And today, after about 30 years of the Retired Players Association, we probably have somewhere close to 300 ex-players that are now part of the Retired Players Association, and things have really changed. Guys have health care, guys have pensions, guys have scholarships for their offspring, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of good things have generated itself because you care about somebody other than yourself. And the other thing that was important to me was to always give back to my community. And that involved young people, that involved boys. And one of the things that President Barack Obama said when I was in office is that he felt it was extremely important to give back to boys of color. And so we started a program 7 years ago when it's one-on-one mentoring. And Mr. Duke talked earlier about how important that was to him. And that's going to be his legacy. And, you know, my legacy hopefully will be about not so much sports, that's a part of my life, but a bigger part of my life has been helping young Black boys who needed advice, who needed direction, who needed support. And that's what we're doing. We have over 100 boys in our program, all from the city of Detroit. And when people say Black men don't care about Black boys, that's something that we've absolutely had to change. And so I got Black men involved and made commitments to these young boys to be in their lives for a minimum of 1 year. And for the most part, I've had mentors in these boys' lives for 4 or 5 years right now. So there are a lot of good things that are happening. We have a 100% graduation rate for the boys in our program. And some of these boys, I think, are going to become leaders here in the city of Detroit. So I am pleased, Sam, that our relationship is what it is, has remained so strong. And I just want to thank you for this opportunity to have a chance to talk to folks.
Hey, Dave, Troy here. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, we lost your video. We want to see your youthful, exuberant face. But again, with the fact that you have major accomplishments in your life and you did not settle, you felt the need and the calling to continue to pour into others, especially the youth. But the retired NBA players that have fallen on hard times, you said, I have to do something. And that's what this call is all about, Dave, this kingdom call. It's where men feel like we need to do something. And a lot of what this is about is the nutrition, whole food plant nutrition. And I know you're a nutrition advocate, and Sam is going to talk to you. And I want to do a call with you, Bill, Sam, and myself, because there's a lot of things that we can do by putting our minds together that is just a natural fit for our youth and young men and future fathers and future business leaders in our communities that we must explore. But I gotta be candid with you, Dave Bingo, okay? I do have a bone to pick with you because you caused me a lot of misery as a young man, going against my Knicks. Okay.
All right. Okay.
And I've been waiting for like 20, 25, 30 years to get at you, man. So just I don't even know why you had to be. I understand you playing in the Garden. It elevates your game and everything. But did you really have to do us like that so many times?
Well, I'll tell you what, Troy. Nothing was better than playing in the Garden, or playing in New York, because the fan base for basketball was just absolutely unbelievable. And the fans understood basketball and understood and appreciated anybody that could play the game.
Yes.
And so anytime we had a chance to play against the Knicks, the adrenaline was there.
Yeah.
And then, in my era, I mean, you had two of the best guards in the history of the game, and Clyde and Earl.
Yeah.
And so that was always a challenge. But I really enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, coming out of college, I thought that's where I was going. I was destined to be a Knick. And when the coin flip between Detroit and New York ended up tails, Cassie came to New York and I came to Detroit. I mean, it's ironic that he played here right up the road from Detroit and Ann Arbor, and that's who wanted him. And I had played so much in New York, I thought I was going to the Knicks. It didn't work out that way. I missed out on championships, but I'm here in Detroit, and Detroit is home. And, I really love the city, and I just want to be a part of bringing this city back.
Well,
So Troy, let me just interrupt for a second, because I forgot to mention that Dave has written a book called Attacking the Rim. Was it Attacking the Hoop?
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
And in his book, he describes his career, he describes his journey, and in reading that, you get a comprehensive picture of what has gone into making the person. And what you will find upon reading that is that he, like most all of the other great individuals I know, he is the same person now as he was when we met many, many years ago. And so I encourage everyone to take a look at his book. And the other thing that I think is so important about what he has written is the value of understanding economics, finance, and business, because it is important that we train our young folks to have those understandings, which is not happening in schools these days. And so when you get a chance to read what he says, hopefully that will inspire some commitment to make some contribution to our plight as it stands today.
Amen. Amen. Attack the rim. Attack the rim. Well, that leads me into the Bing Youth Institute, which is centered around financial literacy and nutrition and developing tomorrow's leaders. As Bill's media foundation is geared towards financial literacy, and I'm a part of an organization that we gave away already in less than a year over 400,000 books teaching financial literacy. I know Bill has a few of those books, but again, Dave, we're going to make sure that your institute gets a hold of this book also, because we're reaching, our goal is 20 million families over the next 10 years that get a hold of this book that really teaches how money works. So, but if you could tell us a little bit about the Youth Institute and give us the website so we can participate and support you, I'd appreciate that.
Sure. I started this program 6 years ago. And the reason for that was because as mayor, I realized not for the first time, but I had not been to certain parts of the city until I became mayor. And I wasn't aware, even though I've always, I work with young men, whether it's a rec center, whether it's in certain neighborhoods, playgrounds, whatever the case may be, even in the schools. I had never been trained as a mentor. And so I had a lot of young men that I had befriended over the years to tell me, you know, what an impact, a positive impact that I had on their lives. And then I started to think, as I was in the last year of my term as mayor, I was still, you know, in pretty good health. And I said, you know, I don't want to just sit back and do nothing. So the need for a lot of our young Black kids here in the city of Detroit, where 50% of the boys that start in the 9th grade don't graduate. And, you know, if you don't graduate and have at least a high school degree, and you get out here in the real world, things are going to be very difficult. So we are not educators, but at the same token, education is very important in our program. So we stress to our boys that there are certain things that they have to follow. I mean, they've got to go to school. They've got to get a minimum of a C average in school. They've got to meet weekly with their mentor. And in order to go on some of the trips and some of the things that we try to expose to them, there are certain rules that they have to adhere to. So long story short, after 6 years, we've had about 46, 47 boys who came to us as a 9th grader and graduated on time. And 86% of those boys are now in college. And so when people tell us who we are, who we can't be, we try to do just the opposite. We have to tell kids, positive things. And we try to put in front of them role models, Black men who are positive, who came from the same kind of environment, who had the same kind of struggles that these boys have, and they have made it. We don't take any excuses whatsoever. And so once again, with a 100% graduation rate, we think we're doing some things that are right. About 7 or 8 of our boys have already graduated from college. They're working, and now they are coming back as mentors. So we think we've done some things the right way. And in order to get scale, we're going to have to look at doing some things differently. I'm already talking to the NBA. I'm talking to people in the Atlanta Hawks, talking to people from the Knicks, talking to people from the Chicago Bulls organization, because there are ex-players in every one of those cities that, you know, have something to give back. And so we can only do what we're doing in Detroit. But if we, once again, can get players in other cities to do something similar to what we're doing, that's where the greatest impact is going to come from. And so we want to take what we've learned and really just give it to somebody else so that they won't make some of the mistakes that we've made and have a much more positive impact on the lives of these young boys.
I mean, Dave, you already talking like a member of the kingdom, because the fact that you're talking about taking what you're doing and putting it in other cities, that's what we call duplication. In our community, we want to be able to share things that are simplified and they're easy to duplicate, especially when they've been successful. So already you talking like a king in the kingdom. So I really appreciate that. Now, what's the website for the Institute?
It's www.bingyouthInstitute.org.
Okay, awesome. Well, Mr. Bingo, appreciate you again. And like I said, we're going to follow this up. You, Sam, and Bill, we're going to put our minds together and we're going to make a major difference in these communities in 2021, like nobody's business. We're going to turn back the financial literacy disparity. We're going to turn back the health disparity, and we're going to make a difference like nobody's business, because we know that bad health, disease can all be prevented with proper nutrition. The same thing with the money woes. It could all be prevented if you know how money works. Now, we have no problem. We know how to make money, okay? Our communities, we know how to make them dollars. But the key comes in, what do you do with those dollars? That's the key. And that's what we're going to teach with this financial literacy. So, sir, feel free to stay to, listen to the end of this. We got an amazing king that's going to talk and tell his testimony of his health journey. And again, we'll be in touch soon, but thank you so much. And oh yes, I am going to send out a care package to thank you guys of some whole food plant nutrition. And we also do sustainable growing, Dave, that you can grow your own fruits and vegetables in the classroom, in the foundation, the institute, in your home, that you're going to be able to see right here. But Sam will definitely share that with you. But again, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and best of luck. We're going to get this done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace and blessings. And
peace.
With no further ado, folks, this man I'm about to introduce, he's a Hall of Famer in his own right. His name is Mr. Pat Padilla, and he has a tremendous testimony in his health journey that he is going to share. So, Pat, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to the Kingdom Call.
Well, thank you so much, Troy. I appreciate the time. What a great, sorry for the delay in getting on. And it's been exciting to hear what Mr. Duke and Mr. Sam and Mr. Bing has shared today so far. To me, what I got out of it was the commitment, not only to health, but commitment to family, commitment to community, and planting seed. That's what they've done, is plant seed in other people's lives, not just for themselves, kept it for themselves. But the thing is, I heard a man said one time, he said, whatever leaves your hand never leaves your life. So when you plant a seed, it keeps producing and producing and producing. So I commend Mr. Duke and Mr. Sam and Mr. Bing for the things that they're doing in their community, to their health, to their family, and it's exciting. So my journey is a little different because I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I'm a native Haitian. Grew up in the U.S. I left Haiti when I was 12 years old. I've always thought America was the land of opportunity because my friends used to come to America all the time for the summer. And they would tell me, he said, Pat, there's money all over the street. You know how kids talk. They think big. There's money all over the streets. And they were talking about pennies. But the thing is about it, everybody in Haiti, when I was growing up, again, I left when I was 12 years old. And I will tie all this stuff together for you. When I was 12 years old, when you go to the airport, not necessarily today, when you went to the airport and you saw a plane leaving, everybody went to the airport. Even we were allowed to get to the roof of the airport and to get to see the flight take off and land. Because why? Because they felt like there's an opportunity in America. So here I am, a 12-year-old young man. I wanted to be a doctor. But that never happened. But I got around a little ball called a soccer ball and began to play with it, learning the game to the point where at the age of 17, I was the last player drafted in the North American Soccer League, the League Pelé and big league players played on. And so I was the last player to be drafted. And I was drafted by Philadelphia Fury back in 1976. I had the chance to play and went to school with the same as Franco Harris. And so when I started playing, didn't think about nutrition. Back then, probably that wasn't an all vocabulary as athletes. So I was able to play for 10 years. My first year there as the last player drafted in Philadelphia, I was rookie of the year. And so with that being said, I got into coaching, got into high school, planting more seed in people's lives and give them an opportunity. To not only to the community, but to the people that I'm mentoring with. And so about moving forward, about 7 years ago, I'll show you a picture. About 7 years ago, hold on a second, I'm gonna share my screen. Seven years ago, let me share the screen, hold on a second. 7 years ago, this is what I look like on the yellow shirt. I wasn't concerned about my weight, wasn't concerned about anything but just enjoying life. Didn't think I was overweight. I was not sleeping well, losing lots of energy. So as an athlete, you know that was wrong, putting the wrong fuel in your body. But I just let, life happens, you let it get away. And so I began about 7 years ago. This Juice Plus product was introduced to us to my wife. And I'll show you, this is my family. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And so about, again, 7 years ago, I was over 200 pounds. My playing weight in school, in the pros was 185, 190. And so I let myself get away. And then 7 years ago, like I said, Juice Plus came into my family's life, and this is my family here. I have 4 daughters. And so I started taking this consistently. I committed myself to changing my health and nutrition. So I started taking the capsules from Juice Plus and the protein drinks. And so within 4 months, what I did was I did one simple change in my life, and just took the capsules every day, 2 times a day, the fruit, vegetable, and the berry blend, and the omega. And then a protein drink for me was a meal replacer. And so what happened was, within 4 months, I went to the gym. I did one simple change, went to the gym, and began to work out, began to walk. And with 4 months later, and 7 years up to today, I'm at 185, 190 pounds. I've lost over 30 pounds. And I feel great. My life feels better. I've got more energy. I can sleep better at night. And so with that being said, my wife started taking this, saw the opportunity. We saw the opportunity to take it as a business, and we began to introduce it to our children. We have six grandchildren and one on the way, and literally all of them on the product. And they come home, and one of the ways that we flood our body with food and nutrition is, I'm going to share this. This is you can see it's my kitchen, and it's a tower garden. You can see right here. See my tower is the top of it. I grow my own fruit and vegetable right there in my kitchen. I've got kale, I've got Swiss chard, I've got tomatoes, cucumbers growing in here. So I do a lot of smoothie. So you can see, so there's water on the bottom there. So that's one of the ways that I've taken my health back. And one of the things that, to commit yourself to like Bing and Mr. Bing and Mr. Sam had mentioned, taking care of your health. Without your health, you have no life. And so when I began to shed those pounds off, I saw, and today at the age of 61, I take no medicine, and I thank God for it. One of the things that, we can make a lot of excuses, but I look at the story about Moses. Moses went up to the mountain, he saw the burning bush, and he wanted to know what is that thing? And, in the short way of saying that, God tell him, listen, I'm going to commit to delivering my people. I want you to be committed to me. Just go and deliver my people. Well, listen, he made excuses. Said, well, I can't speak. I'm stuttering. God said, listen, I got this. What am I going to tell the people when I go back to the people? He said, I'm possible. Basically, he said, I am. So everything that we do, there's opportunity there to say to people, to share with people, say, I'm possible. So he just needed somebody to ride the bus. So you probably wonder why I'm going to put a hat on. I'm putting a hat on because guess what? This is only an opportunity. This is a vehicle to get people on the health train. So how many people can you get on the bus? So as a bus driver, my only job is to get people, pick up people, put people on the bus. There's people going to say, no, I don't want to get on the health journey. Some people are going to get off on the next stop. Some people are going to get off the back door. Some people are going to get the window, the exit window. But you know what? All I get to do, and all some of you will do, is drive the bus. Keep driving the bus. Never quit. Never quit on your journey. Never stop working. Never stop giving the people an opportunity to get better. I learned a couple years ago. Somebody said this. You can get food to be your medicine. You can let food be your medicine, or let medicine be your food. I mean, you think about that for a moment. So many people in our lives, and my family, passed away because they felt like the medicine was their food. We can change that. So let's make a commitment today to ride the bus, allow people to get on the bus of nutrition and health. We're seeing people change. We're in the process of working with a school right now to put these tower gardens in their school to teach the children, because a lot of the children do not know where their food source comes from. So what a great opportunity to be able to share and plant seed in these young people's lives, to show them how they can plant, where the food source comes from, that they can do it right there in their classroom. You can do it right there in your home. And how amazing that is, where you can just put a hat on and drive the bus of Juice Plus. Juice Plus is that vehicle. We used to juice all the time, carrying 25 pounds of carrots and things like that, but it would take a lot of time and you got a little bit of juice. Now they've made that impossible for you. So you know what? Let's make a commitment today to drive the bus and pick up people on the way and be able to get them to their health journey and see life change. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, King. Pat, I gotta tell you, man, that visual aid with the hat, was that your idea? Or was that your lovely wife Denise's idea, man?
Well, it was her idea.
Okay, I just had to make sure there, man. But just the drive the bus to health and nutrition, man, that's again another great analogy that we can only drive that bus. Some people might not want to get on, but the beautiful thing about this community is that maybe they won't relate to Troy. Maybe they might not relate to Pat. Maybe they can't relate to Sam. Maybe they will relate to a Hall of Fame NBA player like Dave Bing and take nutrition serious. Maybe they remember seeing Bill Duke as Abdullah in Car Wash and so many other roles. And hey, you're seeing a different side of him. He's an alkaline vegan. And he says that this lifestyle really is a catalyst for who he is today. A healthy Bill Duke, a healthy Dave Bing. So there is somebody in this community that everyone is going to relate to. We just have to figure out who that is, but we continue to give people messages from various people, whether it's Dr. Mike Ewald, whether it's Dr. Bill Sears, whether it's Dr. Tina Jones, Dr. Victor Payton, Robin Allen. I can go on and on and on of how many people we're able to present to others that they might be able to relate to and take their health more serious, especially if we're going to make a difference in the disparity of health between the Black and the Hispanic community. So very, very thankful, grateful to serve in this community with you. And just again, I'm at a loss for words of the level of gratefulness and just gratitude that I have to continue to represent my community and so many other communities out there. I'm just so pleased with what God is doing in my life. And I want to give him all the praise and glory because I'm only a messenger in this. We all are messengers. We are doing his work, doing as he has seen fit to bless us with the ability and the knowledge and the recognition that it's not about us. It's not about us. It's about touching other people's lives and making their lives better in many different aspects. So again, Pat, thank you. Sam, thank you. Dave Bing, thank you. And Bill Duke, thank you. And again, I will be getting those packages out to Dave and Bill so they can understand what we all been talking about with this company and this whole food nutrition, which is 100% vegan, it's gluten-free, it's non-GMO, and it's kosher. And there's only about 6 products in the line. It's not 30 products, it's only 6. And it is food that comes in a powder capsule, comes in a chewable for the children. And the children get it free for 4 years. Ages 4 through undergrad and college, they get it free for 4 years when an adult takes care of their health, and then they're able to sponsor that child. So we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of ground to cover in this journey. We're only getting started. And again, I'm just elated to be a part of this community and to continue to inspire. But that being said, we are going to stop the recording. Give me a second here as I